So can we like just take the feedback if someone remote are able to hear and see the presentation?
They will be coming over there itself. They'll be able to hear here.
Hi Asim, this is Achut. Hi Asim, this is Achut from Pune teams. We are able to hear you.
Okay, awesome. That's cool.
I'm just being from here.
So
I'll be muting my microphone so that we can hear you clearly.
yeah, sure. So now let's begin our journey. It's a short journey which will enlighten us about the concepts and future, present, and everything related to MongoDB. And if you guys have any question in between, I'll be happy to take them up as we go. So as you see, it's about 19 to 20 slides presentation, and we'll be like spending about 3 to 5 minutes on each slide so that we can understand, discuss each topic, and then we will move on. This will give us a overall picture about the MongoDB NoSQL databases comparison, with the thing which we already know, so that we can associate them properly, like RDBMS, MySQL, or Oracle, the concept, something like that. So the very first slide I would like it to dedicate to Ash, because it's from his motivation. He seeded his thoughts inside me about couple of years back. And then why Mongo, why NoSQL, why. So there are like a lot of concepts which will be coming up. So now here is some short introduction of me. So I am a full stack developer with about 12 years of experience. This is my fourth year with Accion Labs and 1 year with Rackspace and MongoDB. So we have been working on MongoDB since 1 year, and my teammates Sabinesh is there. So he is another expert who is like here in Bangalore office. So you can reach him out for anything related to hands-on experimentation or anything, since we are really using it in like production database. So Rackspace is again a cloud hosting provider which has a lot of inventory, and we are keeping all the inventory in none other than MongoDB database. And I am like certified developer and DBA for MongoDB. So let's catch up here. So this is the one which I finished in February. This is like for developers. So whosoever are developer, they can just finish it. It's a like 7 week course. At the last slide, I'm going to tell you about Mongo University. And this is recently I finished, which this course focuses mainly on DBA, like database administrator part of Mongo database. So now let's move on. So here is a question, like as an application developer, what we think is more important, application or the data for organization? Just think that you have an option. There is some earthquake or something, and you have like two servers, one at JP Nagar, one at, let's say, here, and one is hosting the application, another is data. So which one you would like to save if you have one choice? Data. So data is the most crucial thing. You think about bank, if their database is corrupt, bank is nothing. Like it's like with everything, data is more important than application. But like I mean, it's sad or whatever, but there are like lot many frameworks and things have been evolved on the application side so far in these years. But in data, there were like we were restricted to just like maybe Oracle or MySQL or very less thing with very restricted and congested options. But now people are, since we are doing more data mining, we are doing more data analysis, there are like a lot of new avenues which are coming up for data, for database engines and things like that. So let's see first, like what are the database engines and what are the ratings. Oh, it's still in slide 1. Oh, there is a lot of lag. Okay, people who have joined, I am on slide 5, but unfortunately seems like slide 1 has been shown. I'll share the slides after the presentation. Priscilla can circulate it to everybody because you still see slide one.
Oh, okay.
There is a huge lag since then.
Okay.
So this is a website which speaks about database engines. So the way share prices goes up and down, or there is some authority which evaluates like Java is better than Python or whatever. So here is the link.
No, there's nothing.
Maybe I should unshare and reshare.
I'm just closing it so that we have.
Okay.
Oh, like that. Okay.
Which network you are
Accion
Okay. Okay.
Labs.
on? Can you change it if you're
Okay, I'll do one thing.
Accion Max.
Asim, try doing with LAN connection. That's more faster.
That's better.
But,
LAN is faster.
but I don't have.
Oh. Okay. This laptop doesn't have LAN connection.
Mac adapter. We are using Mac
Okay.
adapter.
No, my wife's.
I don't remember the password.
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. I think Devendra is trying to do something for us. Okay, I'll do one thing. If this is not working, I'll call up reason.
We can.
I have a LAN port.
You
No,
okay?
that's not the point. The point is that he has some hands-on to show.
I have some code and hands-on to show. So to install in that Windows will take time.
I'll call Mahesh Murugesh then.
So Pune team, you're there.
Mahesh, what is the password for Accion Mac Wi-Fi? Sorry?
Hello. No. Okay. Bye.
I didn't get it.
I'll call Mahesh Murugesh.
Oh, sorry. Wrong Mahesh. Multiple Mahesh.
Mahesh Bhandaru, HR Mahesh.
He came.
He came.
LAN connect பண்ண முடியாது.
Accion Mac
Can you please, yeah,
Wi-Fi
help us?
password.
This is recorded.
Let it record here.
We'll tell everyone to close their eyes. Close their eyes.
No.
Type again. Accion was already there. Yeah, try this one. I think this is very bad.
Stop and show? No.
Check this one. Connecting to audio whenever it is done, it is done. Yeah, now you can speak.
Hi, so are you able to see my screen? What do you see on the shared screen?
We are not able to see anything currently. It shows waiting for view assignments screen.
Okay. So we will wait, and I'll also ping the link which I'm just trying to display all the DB engines with their latest ratings.
But give me the link.
Yeah, link might not help so much. So we can try. Can you please connect using Etherpad? Maybe we'll skip the hands-on part and we'll continue it. I'll email you the presentation. Then we have to switch over entire thing, right?
Organizer, huh?
Or he just have to become presenter, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can make it presenter. You can make him presenter.
Okay, I can make
But
him present.
the
Yeah,
हाँ वो हो गया प्रॉब्लम था पूछ रहा था।
very
अच्छा
good.
एक चीज अब कभी
Sorry.
saying,
Maybe
she can see your browser now.
can see. Oh, that's great. So maybe I apologize for the guys who are like remote. They can use it as a radio, like radio session, uh, and then I'll continue with the guys who are here with audio visual. So for you, it probably might be audio, but that still might be some informative stuff which could be useful. So if we see all the databases which are right now in market, including Amazon Redshift, which is like very good for cloud, and DB, DB2. In the top 5 of all the databases, all kind of databases, including cache and relational databases, object databases, MongoDB is in top 5. And if we consider non RDBMS, this is at the number 1, and they have ratings like last year, how was it and how it is performing. So if you guys take interest and learn it, it's going to come on third to whatever it would be top. And for any application as a developer, you have to have a good understanding of database, and MongoDB will help you doing that. Now, as a programmer, when we talk about object orientation, we do programming in objects, right? In the object world, we don't program like table. There is no table oriented programming you might have heard of, right? But if we talk about relational database, it talks about in terms of table. Everything is a table, right? And then you connect tables, you join tables, you do a lot of exercises, and then the frameworks like Hibernate and all, they come in picture, and they convert those tables into objects, and that's how we use it, right? So once we use directly the object storage like MongoDB, your object is directly getting stored, it's directly getting retrieved, so there is a performance gain basically. So let's move on, and I have to show you one like Facebook, how Facebook uses it, right? So let's see who are the MongoDB major customers, and then we'll go to the Facebook page, and we'll understand how NoSQL helps it, and how the Oracle might have, the company might have gone bankrupt if they'll convert to RDBMS, the Facebook, Twitter, Expedia. So let's try to see the customers. So we see here there are like several customers which are like very renowned in industry these days, which are using MongoDB, which includes Twitter, which includes like Facebook, and I mean, you name it, and all the giants are there. However, there is a catch that some part of their, most of the part which is usable, they are trying to leverage MongoDB there. Now, why MongoDB? Basic thing is performance, because there are two websites. One is like very good and one is like very responsive. Let's say you have two apps to book a cab, right? So one cab application is very beautiful, wonderful, but it takes time to load and response. Another is just available. You book it, you get the confirmation, you can take a ride. So which one you would prefer? The one which is more responsive, right? Same with if you're trying to book the tickets. Let's say you're using Expedia versus IRCTC, which exposes the Oracle or whatever databases errors on the screen, and you cannot figure out because it's very slow. It has transaction, it goes through a lot of stuff, right? So response is the key if you want faster response. Now, why MongoDB provides better response is we are trying to eliminate the middleman here. And who are the middlemen? So the middleman is when you have a table, you have some associations, you have some constraints, and then you have, let's say, JDBC or some kind of Hibernate or layer in different programming languages, which will ultimately convert your object, like your table database, into the object, and then it's consumed. However, how MongoDB works, it works on JSON format. So let's see json.org. So MongoDB is nothing but you will just have a very plain, simple, lightweight JSON object which would directly get stored in the database and which can be retrieved directly. Now, once we like use a Facebook page, in Facebook page we see lot of information on the home page once we go there. So just imagine if you have like different let's say different tables for your likes and like the movies you like, for everything, right? The friends you have, the mutual, so you have to write query to do intersection to figure out the mutual friends or all, right? So for that, if you use conventional RDBMS, it's going to take a lot of time, right? And it's like Facebook will just die. But here they called it as pre-join, which means they will embed all the information in the like single document, and once you load the application, it would just get loaded in a single go, and that's how it responds better. So all the information whichever is required in a single go, instead of putting it in a normalized different tables, you put all the information inside one view, single document. You say profile ID, let's say Rakesh, right? Or let's say Devinder. So you there is one document for Devinder. Inside that document all the information is embedded inside it. So in a single retrieval all the information can be showed up and can be populated on the screen. So that's how it makes it like really fast. Now MongoDB on Accion Innovation Center. So there is a step-by-step tutorial which is already available on our Accion Labs Innovation Center. So I'll just open that link to give you a brief about it. So for MongoDB, if you really want to learn the CRUD operation, the basic CRUD operation, like creating, retrieving the objects, and there are like different filters and there are different things. You can just follow one by one. What is a Mongo shell? So I have just published this couple of months back. It takes you to what is a Mongo shell, how to create database and tables in MongoDB, introduction to JSON, and then like taking dumps, loading JavaScript. There are like several things. So we are going to publish this link. Feel free to take your time and go through it. So we'll go on high level concepts. However, and these are like very short videos. If you try one video, it would be like 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Just pause it and try doing it hands on. So it gives you more exposure. So daily you come, you're occupied in your regular work. If you want to learn something extra, something which is like advanced, you just pick one tutorial, spend 5 minutes, just try doing it, and then it will help you to explore it more. So now I am going to tell you, let me just close everything. We'll just assume that there is nothing, and then we'll start from scratch to give you one flavor about how Mongo really works, and then we'll explore a client of Mongo. So let's say if Mongo is installed, to start the server or MongoD, you just write MongoD and MongoD process will get started. And then there is something which is called the Mongo shell. Now what is Mongo shell? This is something which will use to extract data from the Mongo process. So so it says, if you, so there are like different parameters. We are taking a very simple use case. Otherwise you have to say like Mongo, which port, what is the user ID and everything. But Mongo is intentionally made very simple with its own defaults, so you don't have to worry much about as a application developer. You focus more on development, and database takes its own defaults. Let's say if there is no database, you can imagine that you just need one single attribute in a product table. If we go with relational database, you need to in production box you have to shut down your database server, then you have to add a table or remove a column or layer. So it's like very hectic. But in Mongo, it's like dynamic structure. Now what do you mean by dynamic structure is you can do things as you go. So let's say we say show dbs. So we'll create, there is no database which is called as Accion. So we'll just try to insert something in Accion, and if it's, even if it's not there, it would get created. Same with the collections. So right now we are using testdb, right? So if we say use Accion, switch to Accion, now we say use show. So these are like simple commands which will show. This is like command prompt, and the people who don't like, who are from Windows background, who just don't like terminals and all that, for them there is a tool which is called as RoboMongo. So it will help you to see everything like visually. So once you are here, you can just pick any, these are your databases, right? So let's say NIS is the database which I use it in some of the project. How many collection? Now each table is called as a collection, and each collection, let's say we have some product is a collection. So here you can visually see all the objects. This is the object, and this object is nothing but it's just a JSON document which is having the important key value pair. A key is, let's say, a product ID with a value, device type with a value, and it's like, let us take a more descriptive one. So this is pretty simple here. Let's try to go here and say use NIS show. In MySQL we say tables, here we say collections. So we show collections. Now we say db dot products, products dot find. So it would show, but this looks like pretty bad. You are not able to. I'm not sure like the remote people are still able to like catch up.
We don't have the converter for this Mac Ethernet converter.
Okay, we'll buy one. Let's
Just
buy.
now I informed finance to get one.
Okay, let's order one today. So we'll do this same thing and we'll say pretty. So now it would look pretty. So between these two angular braces, whatever we see is the content, which is we can map. We can assume that one table which has some records, same things, similar like that. So one thing to be observed is it has a identifier like underscore ID. So in MongoDB, every object has one object. Like you have your fingerprints, right? Based on your fingerprint, if you cross any embassy, like from airport, wherever you go, they're able to track you down, who you are, and what are your like attributes, like your male or what is your nationality and everything, right? So same way in MongoDB, the underscore ID for any object is going to fetch the information, and it is going to identify and get all the help to retrieve or operate on any object, right? It's an object database. So each object has an underscore ID. Now why it is, yeah, yeah.
One is, does MongoDB support any other format except apart from JSON?
No.
Second, I think you will tell that maybe like how that object ID is based on.
Yeah, sure.
You are going to tell.
Yeah. So each person has different fingerprints. Like fingerprints are like some pattern randomly, like no two people fingerprints will match. Same way, the way they create this underscore ID, it's a like long hash code, and there is 99.99% probability of it being random. Reason is it's like combination of, first is the timestamp, second is the process ID, third is your machine MAC address ID, something which is like unique for all the machine. So in whatever machine you are trying to generate the object or trying to save the object, Mongo database is going to create this object ID based on all these factors, like your machine address is unique, right? And then process and time is of course unique in milliseconds. So that's how the object generated on my machine versus what's your name? Manas. Versus on Manas's machine at the same time, not going to be same. It's going to be different. So this becomes the ID, and that's the power of Mongo, because if you use relational database, you have to go with like student ID, record ID, book ID, all kind of ID. You connect those IDs, and you have to do a lot of hassles for creating to make them unique or make them in some particular order or something like that. Here, Mongo does the heavy lifting. It generates those ID. You just need to take care that just retrieve it using the object ID. So we'll just try to do a filter using the underscore ID, and then so there were like lot of records here you can match. So we say like select star from products where product name is equal to this, something like that. The query which we form in Oracle or some relational databases, here it's like super simple. The developer does not has to be a DB expert, or he does not have to know the queries. He can just whatever he's looking for, he can just pass on the keys and values, and he would get the value. So let's say in this database, whatever devices type which are servers, I just need that. So people who are like UI developers, they just have to pass whatever the parameter they want as is to the MongoDB, and they'll get the result. You can just count that also. So there are like, let's say the device type which is server, if you count it's 3. So the query is also again a key value kind of JSON structure to a query. So it makes it like super simple. You don't have to remember a lot of like the query language whatever. So to learn Mongo and to expertise, you just need to know the JSON. And once you know the simple like JSON, you are able to work with like all UI is JSON, right? Mostly these days, like Angular or whatever and if same thing which is on UI, if it is in the database, look like how fast they can connect. However, you have JSON or something in UI, and then you do translation in something else in database, it creates impedance, like it creates a mismatch. It requires a lot of processing. So that is what the main motive is, using JSON here in in MongoDB. All the objects, they are in JSON. Now there is one thing which is called as bson. So when the MongoDB stores it, it does not just to be more efficient, more faster in terms of saving the data, it converts the JSON into binary format, which is called as bson. So now we'll move on to next slide. So if you want to go deeper, I have also published a tutorial. So I publish a channel which has like 200 to 300 subscribers. So if you want, you can go ahead and subscribe the channel, because I keep on posting something like some tutorials based on programming or like different stuff. So you can follow all these things, like how we write a or condition query in MongoDB. It's like very specific and to the point, and very short, like 2-3 minutes. They are like not lengthy and boring, and you might enjoy them if you like try them. And yeah, so this is another resource which I would like to point out. You recorded this tutorial? Yeah, and they are like based on main, I face a problem, I solve a problem, and then I just do concise recording of 2-3 minutes. So I also sometimes use it, because sometimes we do it and then we forget, and then we google and spend 2 hours to get the same thing. here in like 2-minute video I'll rewind it and I can like repeat those things whenever I want. Plus my team members or whosoever wants, they can leverage to do those repetitive or complex tasks in simple process. So that's how like I keep on recording and put it. I have also published some of the Golang tutorial, some other like Python related tutorials apart from Mongo, some Java related like abstract class and all that, like, and they are also very short tutorials. So this part, like downloading and installing, it's like pretty straightforward. If you're using Mac, you can do brew install for MongoDB. Otherwise, like in Windows, you just do the installer, fire up a MongoDB process, and you can access it using a Mongo shell. So if I do Control T and I say Mongo, here is new shell, and inside the shell I can access all the objects, all the collections. Collection means all the tables and everything. Now there are some different concept, uh, which is called as like replication, which is like really important, and then there is like scaling up and scaling down, which is like really important. So I would like to move on to that first. So we have also covered RoboMongo. RoboMongo like is simple. Just a moment. Okay, so let's try to go here. Okay, so who would like to answer the difference between horizontal and vertical scaling? Like any ideas? What are they? So I'll just give you a problem and then you can come up with a solution. I am a very small company. I have just started and I have a very small commodity server. But as time grew, my popularity grew, more users are coming and hitting my server. So they have started complaining. Let's say Amazon, when they started their business, less users. When they have some deal or offer, like Amazon Day is coming up, right? So millions of user will hit. So they have to scale up. They either they add more RAM, more CPU, more everything. Otherwise, their server is going to crash, and then they are going to send the apology mail why your deal could not happen, or deal it was a like broken deal, broken heart situation. So that's why even these companies, instead of going,
I think Naveen is talking. Yeah, Naveen, you able to hear? Because people over there, they're not able to see the screen properly.
yeah,
And
No,
okay, just
network
a
is
minute.
not good. They will not be able to see.
They will not be able
Network is
to.
not good.
You can ping
Okay,
this link
just
in
talk once
the
over this one, yeah, Naveen?
ping this link in go.
Yeah, yeah, talk once. Let's see if we are able to hear from you. Mm-hmm. No, I think we're not able to hear you. Okay. Okay. Is it in mute, Asim?
mine.
Yeah.
So they are not able to hear me also.
They're not able to hear you.
Oh, that's irony. Okay, let me.